Well, hello, and welcome to Stop. Let's Team Up. It's Ross Aiken here, and we are here to talk my Legion adventures. And today's big issue is Superboy 98 with the first appearance of Ultra Boy. I'm so excited. I'm a big Ultra Boy fan. So, this was Superboy 98 from July 1962. Cover credits Kurt Swan Penciler. Woohoo! Inker George Klein. Woohoo! Letter Irish Schnapp. It was the second story in the comic. It is called The Boy with Ultra Powers. The credits are Mort Weisinger, editor Plotter, scripter Jerry Siegel, penciler Kurt Swan. Woohoo! Inker George Klein. Woohoo! Letterer Milton Snapin. Guest stars Ultra Boy Joe Na. This is his first appearance. He has a 20th century alias, just like Mon-El, but this one he's Gary Crane. Supporting characters, we get to see Jonathan Kent, Lana Lang, Pete Ross, Crypto, and the Superboy robots. Gotta love a Superboy robot. Guest appearances of Cosmic Boy, Santa Girl, Lightning Lad, and the introduction of Marla Latham, who we'll find out later is not only the advisor to the Legionnaires, but R.J. Brand, the founder of the Legion's right-hand man. But we haven't gotten there yet. Let's give the lovely synopsis from the official Legion of Superhero Index. A costume youth called Ultra Boy secretly arrives in Smallville with his adult mentor, Marla, intent on discovering Superboy's secret identity. Ultra Boy at first suspects Pete Ross is the Boy of Steel, but then correctly deduces that Clark Kent is actually Superboy. When Pete accidentally becomes locked in a bank vault, Ultra Boy's powers of Pentravision, which, unlike Superboy's supervision, can melt and see through lead, enables him to assist Superboy in rescuing Pete. He then reveals that he is a time traveler from the future planet Rimbor and an applicant for membership in the Legion of Superheroes, who have assigned him the task of unmasking Superboy as an initiation test. Them and them wacky kids and their initiation tests. Having completed the test, he and Marla, actually the Legion senior advisor, return to the future. Sorry, that was a little fast. But I want to say this is one of my favorite of these pre-Legion stories, before they had their own book. It's beautiful. The art is amazing. The Swan-Klein art is amazing. Splash page, it has nothing to do with the story, which has Ultra Boy melting statues at the Life on Krypton exhibit at some World's Fair. But it's just the detail of them getting off the train and the introduction of Marla's wearing a version of, like, Ultra Boy's uniform. Like, that was Civvy clothes. So I guess is the inference. But, I mean, I have to say this. Ultra Boy's costume is probably my absolute favorite Legion costume. Hands down. All of them. Every iteration. This version, this Kurt Swan version, and I'll put up some images of this on Twitter and on Instagram, that it is the perfect superhero costume. Absolutely perfect in every way, shape, or form. It has never been duplicated, and any of the other versions of his, some of them I like, some of them I'm not really sure of. I'm not a big fan of the modern one, the Bendis Sook one. I think the color scheme is off. It bothers me. It just does. But because this one's perfect. And we get to see the Pete Ross Knows Superboy story, and he gets his little honorary member coin at the end from Marla and Joe. But the art is just so precise. There's the scene where this guy comes in with a Tommy gun to rob Pa Kent's store, and Ultra Boy zaps it with his Pentravision and melts it. Some great Silver Age action. He used the Pentravision to drop a boulder in front of Pete's car, and then Superboy comes and throws the boulder into a hole in the dam outside of Smallville, and they plug the leak with it, and he throws it across this town to do it. Some Crypto. It's great. It's just beautiful. It is a very this is a 1960s comic, but it's very in 1950s feel to the small town Americana that is the Superboy mythos of the Silver Age, and it works. It's a lot of fun. It's a great intro. I think it's one of the better written of one of these. I think there's a little more to it. I think it leads into what we're going to be seeing in 2 episodes when we get to Adventure Comics 300 and the first Tales of the Legion story. I say this is one I've read a ton. I've had reprints of it. I have gone into this this archives and read it by itself. It's a great script. It is an amazingly well written comic, full of stuff. It's this thing where I complain about modern comics. I'm not complaining. It's just something I'm not a big fan of. Because in modern comics that there's less dialogue, there's less words. I want to be able to know what they're thinking and stuff like that. It's a 13-page story, and there's more in it than I see in some 22-page comics sometimes. It's just a great scripted comic. Nowadays it'd be a kid's comic. I don't even know if it'd be a kid's comic anymore, but it's just a great grab. It's worth a read. If you can find it, it's in this. It's, I've said before that the DC app is lacking in Silver Age stuff, and this is one of those issues that it's not there. But if you can find a reprint of it, I recommend it. It's a lot of fun. So next week, we will do the last of the issues of other comics where the Legion appear before they get their own series, and that is it's Superman. I'm sorry, Superman 155, and we'll be covering the downfall of Superman. It's a short little story, and then before we do, and I'm going to say this now, before we do Adventure 300, so in 3 weeks when we do. 3 weeks when we do Legion Adventure 300. I'm going to do a little overview of what has happened, the Legion timeline, kind of who joined when and why, or just recap who's a member now before we go into these issues, because we're at a certain point, and I may want to talk about what's gone behind the scene. We have not seen the origin yet. And I don't really know when that comes. When they first tell the origin story. I can't remember. And I like that I can't remember. Because that's going to make it more fun when I'm reading this. All right. But this is going to be a short episode. It's just a good issue. I'm just going to gush about the beautiful art. I will put some images up so y'all can see it. And please find a copy of it somewhere. Give it a read, and it's just a joy. And it was nice. I had not a rough day, but I got to work, and all of a sudden I had a huge project, and it kind of threw me for a loop. And I got home, and me and my wife sat down and watched the final episode of Moon Knight with our dogs, and as you do. And I got to read this real quick, and then record and talk about it. But we'll be back. I'll be back next week with Superman 155. But also, I want to put this out there, and I will put this when I post it. I'm enjoying doing this Legion read-through. I'm thinking about doing a Marvel comic the same way. I may not do it every week. I just got to find a way to balance it. But I think I need to complement my reread of Legion with a read-through of another Marvel. I don't think I'm going to. I'm doing Legion because Legion with a Legion comic and Avenger comic are my first 2 comics that I kind of remember having. So they are the most special of the team books to me. But I'm going to put 2 or 3 suggestions out there and let you all pick what team I cover next or in unison with this one. I think it'll be fun. I'm hoping you guys will like it. So let me know what you think. You can post something on Twitter. If you're following me on Twitter, you can DM me. I'm going to post this, and then I will post a little later another a poll of 4 teams that I'm thinking of. But let me know what you think of this episode. Which team from Marvel you'd want me to find. You can find us at Twitter at JSA4E. That is JSA, the number 4, the letter E. And you can email me at stoplетsteamup@gmail.com. That is stoplетsteamup, one word, @gmail.com. Check us out on Instagram at stopletsteamup. I'm learning. Ron from Fantastic Comic Fan is helping me. He's giving me he's coaching me on to be a better social media person. I get very distracted. There was a lot going on in the world on Tuesday, so I did not post anything on my podcast feeds because I was focused on what was going on in the world, and I just took a little breather, 24-hour breather. I did have a chance earlier in the week to record with Ron, and he was kind enough to let me talk about Neil Adams with him on his show, which will come out sometime in the near future. And in a couple weeks, you will hear our discussion about the Secret Society of Supervillains. So I'm looking forward to that. Please check out Ron's podcast, Fantastic Comic Fan. Follow him on Twitter. Follow him on Instagram. He's on other social media, and I feel terrible. Listen to his podcast. They're short episodes. He covers everything. He's had some great guests. I'm going to play some catch up this weekend with it when I do my walks. I listen to too many podcasts, and I have friends whose podcasts I need to listen to, that I enjoy listening to, and I'm catching up on a couple. My recommendations, if you're a Doctor Who fan and you want to hear people talk, cover it from the beginning, from An Unearthly Child through, I would think you should check out All of Time and Space. It is hosted by the amazing Mark Cockrum and Ian Martin. I had the pleasure of being their guest on an episode. What they're doing is they're covering Doctor Who, starting with the first story, The Unearthly Child, and going, it's monthly. And they do one story, and then they'll do a season overview, I think, and they're doing an overview when they get to the end of William Hartnell in a couple episodes. But it's amazing. It's a lot of fun. They have great guests. Like I said, I've been on it. I got to be on it for the Gunfighters, which is the 1960s Doctor Who in the Wild West. And it was a fun conversation. Jeff, my partner from Runcible Report, was on for the Celestial Toymaker. And Vic is in an upcoming episode about an overview of the William Hartnell era. I know you're listening to a comic podcast, and I'm droning on about Doctor Who, but Mark and Neil are great. It's a great show. It's incredibly entertaining. I just listened to them cover a story I love, The War Machine, with the two gentlemen from the Doctor Who podcast, another good Doctor Who podcast. So please check out that podcast. Also, remember, check out Ron's podcast, Fantastic Comic Fan. It's a lot of fun. And stuff like that. Also, if you have Audible and you are a fan of Quatermass, I bought with my free credit the Quatermass memoirs, where it's between clips of interviews of Nigel Neal, the genius creator of the Quatermass series, is a fictional story of someone writing Quatermass's biography. And it is Andrew Kerr who played Quatermass in the film version of Quatermass in the Pit, which is one of my 5 favorite movies of all time. It's a Hammer film. It's based on the 3rd television serial, and it's amazing. Check it out. But check that out on Audible. There also, I have downloaded BBC Sounds. I highly recommend it, and I listened to a couple Quatermass stories on there with the amazing Mark Gatiss. And 2 written by Toby Haddock. Lots of fun. But folks, that was a lot of jibber jabber about other things that I'm recommending. I just felt the need to shout some people out who I think deserve it, and they're nice enough to. I'm glad to call them friends, and you should check out their work. So, folks, I will be back this weekend with. I don't know what Saturday's going to be. I'm kind of doing that by heart. I'm getting some stuff done in the canon the next couple weeks because just to get ahead, and life gets busy. I'm hoping to record tomorrow night with a guest and talk some Legion, and hopefully this Saturday talk British comics. But until then, I will see you next week for my Legion adventure with Superman issue 155. And as always, folks, be smart, be kind, and read some comics.